Hello, welcome back to Rhubarb Yoga. So following on from the last class that we looked at, opening the front of the body, there are many different ways and aspects of doing this. It's not just stretching open or reaching over. As we have for what I consider corners of the body, we have the front, the back and the two sides. The front of the body can be reached in many different ways. So following on from last time, where we looked at half Ardha Chandrasana or half standing moon rise, we're going to elongate that and we're going to look at the full expression of the pose. But we're also going to start and do a sequence to warm ourselves up and prepare ourselves to get further into that pose and just become a little bit warmer so that it's possible as well. So Ardha Chandrasana has got incredible benefits. If you can come close to accessing the pose, it will improve the lower strength of your body. So it will improve the strength of your thighs, your calves, your hips and your bum cheeks as well, the gluteus muscles. All of those muscles are incredibly important to keep us stabilised and strong. But from that they'll evolve to increase and improve our balance, which is another aspect that's looked at from Ardha Chandrasana. Because it requires great balance, as we are only using two limbs of the body to balance upon, the balance itself inside the body also goes into the mind, and the balance inside the mind is completely, if not more, necessary to access this pose. And from that, and the development into the pose as well, will also enable a stronger mindset of balance too. It will tranquilise our mind, keep it calm, give us focus, and allow us to segment parts where we need to look at separate things individually. And through the pose, that's incredibly important. There are certain things that we need to almost tick off before we can access the actual shape itself. And weirdly enough, even though you may not even think of it when you see the expression of the pose, it's fantastic for relieving sciatica, which can be incredibly uncomfortable, almost to the point where you just can't feel comfortable within your own body. But finding points to access it and alleviate this can be really rewarding without resorting to traditional painkillers and other methods that we just instantly may turn to instead. And weirdly enough, one more aspect of this is menstrual pain. Now, there are quite a few asanas that we cannot access when menstruating as ladies, basically due to the inversion and vacuum that creates upon the womb itself and the cervix. So, no headstands, no jumping upside down. However, because this is classed as a balance, not an inversion, the head is not below the heart, it's in line with it. This is totally accessible, and also because of that, we are allowed to access the body, open it up, stretch it out, alleviate tweaks, uncomfortable cramps and pain that just makes us feel a little bit rubbish every now and again. So we're going to start a small sequence, nothing complicated, something we're all familiar with, but what that's going to do is warm us up and just allow the body to come in to the pose. One thing you will need, unless you're practiced or familiar with this shape, is definitely a block. And it will need to be at either end of your mat, whichever direction you're moving into. So we're going to start on all fours in cat-cow to make ourselves and our spine a little bit looser. So let's become back into the shape that we know, our all fours, our hands are beneath our shoulders, hips are over the knees, feet and toes flat down. They can be propped up. It's however it feels comfortable for you today. Remember, every day is different, so please adjust accordingly. So we're going to take that breath in and we're going to tip the tailbone up. We're going to drop the belly, and as we tip forward, lift the chin slightly and open the chest. We're accessing the spine. We're allowing all the vertebrae to be flexed so that they can move in their proper alignment like a string of pearls, and they can allow us to elongate the spine when we need to. So breathing out, we're going to curl up into the angry cat, pushing the hands into the ground and the knees, making that angry cat as deep and as angry as possible. Breathing back in, we're going to flex up into that cow, making our spine nice and deep, allowing the belly to drop. And as we imagine our hands are coming towards our knees and our knees are coming towards our hands, adding some traction, it allows the front of the body to open. So here's our first part. We're accessing the collarbones, the top of the chest and the pectorals. Come into our neutral spine. We then push back into an elongated child's pose. Once again, accessing the spine, opening the armpits, starting to action the muscles around the top of the arms, which we're going to need into Ardha Chandrasana, and starting to soften the hamstrings by coming into our child. Then we're going to push forward, lifting the back up, and we're going to raise the bottom of the legs and just allow the belly to drop a little bit, creating a very low back bend, almost hammocking the body, actioning and starting to activate the hamstrings in the back of our quads, which we're going to feel by now. Then we're going to push, allow the arms, feet to drop down, lower the body, then we're going to come into a cobra. Now this cobra can be as low as you choose. If your back's not very happy with you today, you can sit in a sphinx. Engage the legs, spread the toes, elbows under the shoulders, and allow the back just to start activating and releasing into this. But if you're ready for your cobra today, we can do a low cobra. Where the back's working, we don't need the arms. If you feel a little bit more open, you can come up into your cobra, medium or high. And this will start activating the muscles along the spinal column, both sides, which is what we'll need for our standing half moon rise. Toes into the ground, legs active and open. We're going to push back, releasing, and then we're going to step forward into a low lunge. And this is going to get our inner groins working, which is what we are going to need. So we can stay in our low lunge with our knee down. We can raise the toe up and we can pulse. And this will start getting movement in the inner groin, the thighs and the hip flexors too. All of which we're going to definitely need coming to our Ardha Chandrasana. So you can almost look at this like a little springboard. Make sure your block is ready for you. So you can stay here with the leg extended. You can come down to the knee to get yourself situated and balanced too. And then we're going to come up into our Ardha Chandrasana. And I want you to take this one step at a time. So most important thing here is to have your block and have it at an angle to the little toe. This is where you would place your hand if your arms were long enough. You were familiar with the pose as well. If you have it at an angle at the top of your corner of your mat, in a diagonal to your little toe, about a hand's width away. So as we lean over, the difference with the arm dropping will be that space. However, if you need to move it, it's easy to adjust. And we're going to come up, place our hand on our block, and we're going to gently bend the front knee and just bring that arm up, that back leg up, to begin with. And the important thing here is getting our right angle of the back leg while we're getting familiar with our pose. So if you need a chair here, place a chair at the end so that you can very, very easily start learning the shape and the balance. Now right here, I can tell I need to move my block. We want it directly under this shoulder. So it gives us the best balance and shape. So straight perpendicular arm, perpendicular leg. And this is the opportunity here to start getting familiar with the shape before we start opening up. Now if this is as far as you can go today, that is absolutely fine. Please don't worry. We're in what feels like a warrior 3 position with the leg back out, and we're using a block for support. And that can be a mindset that you can look at. We're flexing the back foot and we're activating the leg. The glute is slightly engaged. The thigh is definitely working to keep our balance, and we push our heel back. We're bringing the hips in towards each other in that lemon squeezer motion to bring them together and keep the pelvis from tipping. However, with that Ardha Chandrasana, we are turning to open the chest to the side. So the best part here is to flex the back leg and continue that, but allow the body to turn 90 degrees. So we place the hand on the hip and we turn, and this is where this block is key. If you're further down, you can lose your balance. So let's look at it. We keep the hand on the hip, and that will allow the chest to open up. Now we lift that back leg a little higher to engage the thighs and create that deeper strength. Engage the lower standing leg. You're going to need it. If you feel comfortable, you could try lifting the arm. If you think, I'm okay at the moment, I'm going to stay where I am, keep the hand on the waist and just practice the shape again. Or we can raise the arm. And so, we can come back into a lunge to come out, or we can come back to our downward dog and just relax the hips. Take a breath. Come down to the knees. Take a child's pose to rest the hips. They've been doing a lot of work in that pose. But let's repeat it on the other side. So let's switch around. And let's do the flow again. So we're going to start in our cat-cow to activate the back, the spine and the hips. And you can do this sequence, all of the sequence leading up to Ardha Chandrasana, as many times as you feel you need to warm the body. Moving with the breath. And try not to speed it up too much. Particularly if you're working from cold, you haven't practiced today, you're unfamiliar, or you just want to try and learn this particular asana. By coming into it cold, it can jar the muscles, the ligaments, and also not give you the best preparation for your shape. So into our extended child, this can be long as you need it to open up the armpits, the chest, and all the shoulder muscles needed to work the shape. Walk forward, lift the lower legs, hammock the front body, activating the quads and the hamstrings, lowering the legs back down, coming down to your low back bend of choice. So again, Sphinx, to be comfortable in the lower back, particularly if you're a little tweaky today. Sphinx will be the perfect option, or a cobra, of whichever choice and intensity you feel your body is warm for today. And you can repeat your cobra. Make your cobra hands come out a little wider to open up more of the front body. If that's what you feel will give you that preparation, even hands off the mat. Now pushing back to an all fours to allow that leg to come forward. Shuffle it forward, step forward however you need. Make sure your block is where it should just about be for you today. And then just pulse the back leg. Just allow that inner thigh, inner groin warm up. Allowing the pelvis and hips, psoas and hip flexors, just to give you that extra little bit of preparation for this pose. Block diagonally in line with a little toe. Step forward using your block as you lift. Hand to the waist And that will be our steering wheel to turn the chest. Prepping the back leg, engaging the front. And now look at where you are. Do you need to move your block forward? Is your arm perpendicular? Is your leg perpendicular? Are you overreaching? When you feel that you are just about in the right place with your balance, this is where the tranquility of your mind will help. Find a drishti, look towards the ground, and now start to turn. And continue keeping the head down, looking at the ground, as it will help your balance until you feel confident and secure in your shape. Strengthening through the bottom leg and the arm, engaging them both, and then perhaps raising that top arm, engaging the leg, turning the body open, allowing that front body to find some space. That bottom calf may start aching. You can always turn the head down to help your balance. And then when you come down slowly and bend that front leg, coming down to wherever your place is for you today. It could be downward dog, and walk out the effort upon the legs. Come down to a simple hero, or come down to your child. So that can be quite an intimidating pose. It takes focus, patience, definite balance, and application of everything working in unison, which is why it's such an incredible pose to be able to practice. As many poses in yoga and vinyasas, once everything seems to work together in unison, it becomes an incredible sensation, gives you immeasurable benefits, and makes you feel fantastic. Please have fun with it, as always. Please make sure you are prop safe too. Have fun, be kind to yourself, be forgiving as well. Enjoy some part of it, find an aspect that's good for you.